Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarter-dollar coins, cause some of these coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today. We're diving into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter, also known as the Bicentennial quarter. Millions of these coins were produced, but only a rare few hold extraordinary value. So grab your seats, listen carefully, and discover why this quarter has become one of the most fascinating coins for collectors around the world. The Bicentennial quarter was minted to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the United States of America. From 1776, the year of independence, to 1976, this coin marked 2 centuries of freedom, progress, and history. Unlike regular quarters, these coins were struck with a special design to honor the nation's bicentennial. They became a symbol of pride for Americans and a must-have collectible for millions. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll notice a unique and striking image designed by Jack L. H.R. Instead of the familiar eagle seen on most quarters, the Bicentennial quarter features a colonial-era drummer boy standing proudly with a victory torch encircled by 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies. The word 1776 to 1976 is inscribed to highlight the 200 years of American independence. The obverse side continues to feature George Washington's portrait, but the dual date makes this coin instantly recognizable to collectors and the general public alike. Now, with millions of these quarters minted for circulation, you might wonder, what makes any of them rare or valuable? The answer lies in condition, composition, and minting errors. First, let's talk about condition. Most bicentennial quarters circulated heavily. They jingled in pockets, clattered through vending machines, and ended up scratched, dull, and worn. These coins are common and worth face value. But uncirculated examples, coins that were never used and remain crisp, shiny, and flawless, are far more desirable. Collectors especially look for high-grade coins, and those graded at the very top levels can fetch impressive prices. Second, composition matters. While the majority of bicentennial quarters were struck in copper-nickel clad, there were also special issues made in 40% silver. These silver bicentennial quarters were sold in collector sets by the U.S. Mint and are far scarcer in pristine condition. Finding one of these silver examples in top grade instantly boosts its value, and rare varieties can be worth a great deal. Finally, we come to the most exciting part, minting errors. Errors can turn an ordinary bicentennial quarter into a once-in-a-lifetime find. Some error types include double dies, where elements of the design, like the drummer's details or the lettering, appear doubled. Others include off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because it was struck improperly. Even rarer are planchet errors, where the coin was struck on the wrong metal blank. Each error makes a coin unique, and collectors are willing to pay huge premiums for these one-of-a-kind mistakes. Grading also plays a massive role in value. Coins are professionally graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfection. A bicentennial quarter with a rare error or struck in silver, preserved in near-perfect condition, can easily skyrocket in value. Professional grading services authenticate these coins and give buyers confidence, which is why graded examples often achieve the highest prices at auctions. But beyond the money, this coin has a special place in the hearts of collectors. The Bicentennial quarter connects history, art, and patriotism. It captures the story of America's journey from independence to modern times, all in the palm of your hand. It's not just metal. It's a piece of national pride that millions cherish, and the rarest examples are treasures for both sentimental and financial reasons. Now imagine searching through an old collection or a forgotten coin jar and spotting one of these quarters. Most people would think nothing of it. They'd see just another 25-cent piece. But if you've trained your eye to spot sharp details, pristine condition, or unusual errors, you might realize you're holding something truly extraordinary. That's the thrill of coin collecting. The possibility that everyday change could secretly be worth a fortune. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. A rare 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter, especially one with a significant minting error or struck in silver and preserved in stunning uncirculated condition, has been valued at an astonishing $85,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $85,000 for a single quarter. So the next time you come across a bicentennial quarter, don't just spend it. Take a closer look. You never know if that drummer boy might be marching you straight into a small fortune. Top 2, we're taking a closer look at the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from 1969. Now at first glance, it may seem like just another quarter, but trust me, this year carries some surprises that make it one of the most exciting coins for collectors and coin enthusiasts alike. So listen carefully, because what I'm about to share could make you check every single 1969 quarter you come across. The Washington quarter has been a part of American coinage since 1932. Originally designed to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Its design by John Flanagan became an American classic. By 1969, the Washington quarter had already seen several decades of circulation and had become one of the most recognizable coins in everyday life. But what makes the 1969 version stand out is not just its design. It's the rarity, condition, and incredible errors that can turn this small coin into something worth a fortune. Let's start with the basics. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington facing left, with the word Liberty boldly displayed above his head and the national motto, "In God We Trust," to the side. Below Washington's neck is the date, 1969. The reverse side features the heraldic eagle, wings outstretched, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing both America's strength and its desire for peace. This design had been a mainstay of the quarter for decades and was still in use during this year. Now, here's where things get interesting. Not all 1969 quarters are created equal. Most were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, and while many went into circulation, some ended up in proof or special mint sets. The majority of circulated coins are common and worth face value. But what collectors crave are the rare variations, quarters in pristine condition, and, even more exciting, those with dramatic minting errors. Errors are what transform an everyday coin into a showpiece. For the 1969 Washington quarter, some of the rarest examples include double die obverse errors, where the details of the inscriptions appear doubled due to a misalignment in the minting process. Imagine looking at the word Liberty or the date, 1969, and seeing a clear doubling effect. That's the kind of mistake that makes collectors go wild. Another type of error includes off-center strikes, where the design is shifted, leaving part of the coin blank and creating a unique, eye-catching piece. There are also examples of clipped planchets, where the coin wasn't cut perfectly from the metal sheet, leaving an unusual bite-shaped mark. Each of these errors makes the coin one of a kind, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for uniqueness. Condition is another huge factor. Coins that have been circulating in pockets, purses, and vending machines for decades often show heavy wear. These worn examples usually don't carry extra value. But a 1969 Washington quarter in uncirculated or near-perfect condition can command serious attention from collectors. Professional grading services evaluate these coins based on their preservation, and the higher the grade, the higher the value. When you combine pristine condition with a rare error, that's when the prices truly soar, but it's also important to note that mint marks play a role. Coins struck at the San Francisco Mint with proof finishes are especially desirable to collectors, especially if they remain sealed in their original packaging. Proof coins from this year shine with incredible detail, making them stand apart from circulation strikes. Why is this coin so appealing to collectors? Because it represents the thrill of discovery. The 1969 Washington quarter looks like ordinary change, yet hidden among the millions are rare examples that can be worth thousands upon thousands of dollars. For coin hunters, it's the possibility that the next quarter they examine could be the jackpot. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. A rare 1969 Washington quarter dollar, featuring a significant minting error and preserved in exceptional condition, has been valued at an incredible $82,000. Yes, $82,000 for a single quarter. That's why every coin collector, whether beginner or expert, keeps their eyes sharp when handling a 1969 quarter. So before you spend one, take a closer look. You never know what treasure you might be holding in your hand. Top 3, we're turning our attention to a piece of American history that might be hiding right in your change. The United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1972. At first glance, it may look like just another quarter, but collectors know better. This little coin, depending on its rarity and condition, could be worth a lot more than 25 cents. So listen closely, because this story might just inspire you to check your pockets and collections a little more carefully. The Washington quarter has been a familiar face in American coinage since 1932, when it was first struck to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, the portrait of Washington on the obverse became a timeless image, symbolizing leadership and the nation's enduring history. By 1972, the Washington quarter was well established as everyday money in the United States, and millions were minted at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Yet among those millions are rare examples that collectors would do almost anything to own. On the obverse of the 1972 quarter, we see the bold portrait of George Washington, the word liberty across the top, the national motto, "In God We Trust," beside his profile, and the date 1972 below. The reverse side features the proud heraldic eagle, wings spread wide, standing on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches below, representing both the power and peaceful intentions of the nation. The design itself is familiar, but the real excitement begins when we talk about condition, mint marks, and errors. Condition is one of the biggest factors in determining a coin's value. Most 1972 quarters circulated heavily, passing from hand to hand, losing their shine, and gaining scratches and wear. These common examples are worth only their face value. But for the sharp-eyed collector, coins that survived in pristine, uncirculated condition are the real gems. A coin with brilliant luster, no wear, and razor-sharp details can be worth hundreds or even thousands, especially if graded at the top levels by a professional grading service. Now let's talk about mint marks. In 1972, quarters were struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, which carried no mint mark, Denver with a small d, and San Francisco, which produced proof coins with an S. The proof coins, with their mirror-like surfaces and carefully struck details, were sold to collectors and are highly prized when kept in their original condition. Some proof coins even show unique features or variations that make them stand out, adding to their desirability. But the most thrilling part of the 1972 Washington quarter story is the world of minting errors. These are the coins that transform from ordinary to extraordinary. Among the most famous errors are doubled die obverse coins, where the inscriptions or the date appear doubled due to a mistake during the die-making process. A doubled Liberty or a doubled 1972 instantly grabs a collector's attention. Other errors include off-center strikes, where the design is shifted and part of the coin is blank, creating a dramatic effect. There are also die cracks, clipped planchets, and even coins struck on the wrong metal blank. Each of these errors makes the coin unique, and uniqueness is exactly what collectors chase. Think about it. Millions of these quarters were made, but error coins are 1 in a million. Combine that with excellent preservation, and you have the recipe for a coin that could command jaw-dropping prices. This is why collectors search endlessly through change, coin rolls, and old collections, because the possibility of finding such a rare coin is like winning a small lottery. What makes the 1972 quarter even more fascinating is how accessible it feels. Unlike ancient coins or limited gold pieces, the Washington quarter is something people see and handle daily. That familiarity makes it even more thrilling to know that within such an ordinary coin, there could be extraordinary value. It's the magic of coin collecting, the idea that history, rarity, and fortune might be resting in your hand at any given moment. And now comes the part you've all been waiting for. While most 1972 quarters are worth only face value, a rare 1972 Washington quarter dollar, featuring dramatic errors and preserved in stunning condition, has been valued at an astonishing $79,000. Yes, $79,000 for a single quarter. That's why collectors keep hunting and why you should always check the coins you come across. Because you never know when a simple Washington quarter from 1972 might turn out to be the treasure of a lifetime. Top 4 today's story proves that point perfectly. We're diving into the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from 1974, a coin you might see as just loose change, but one that holds secrets and surprises that every collector should know about. So stick with me until the very end, because you won't believe the value that the rarest examples of this coin can reach. The Washington quarter has a long history. First introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. Its design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, has become an icon of American coinage. By the 1970s, the Washington quarter was a firmly established part of daily life, and the 1974 issue was no exception. Millions were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. But hidden among those millions are rare varieties and error coins that make 1974 a year worth paying special attention to. On the obverse of the coin, we see the bold profile of George Washington, facing left, with the word Liberty across the top and the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left of his portrait. Beneath his chin sits the date, 1974. On the reverse is the majestic heraldic eagle, wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. It's a classic, powerful image representing both the strength and the peace America strives to uphold. What makes the 1974 Washington quarter so fascinating? For starters, let's talk about the conditions in which these coins are found. Most quarters from 1974 circulated heavily, moving through countless hands, registers, and vending machines. These everyday worn examples are common and usually worth only face value. But when you find a coin that has never been used, an uncirculated specimen with brilliant luster and sharp details, it becomes something entirely different. Grading services can certify these coins, and the higher the grade, the higher the price. But what really makes collectors chase after 1974 quarters are the errors. Minting errors are like lightning strikes, rare, dramatic, and highly prized. For the 1974 Washington quarter, some of the most famous errors include double die obverse coins, where parts of the design such as the date or the word Liberty appear doubled. There are also off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted and part of the coin is left blank, creating a truly unique piece. Then there are clipped planchets, where part of the coin's edge is missing, almost like a bite mark. Even die cracks, small raised lines caused by breaks in the minting die, can make a coin collectible when combined with sharp details. Another intriguing factor is the mint mark. In 1974, Philadelphia coins had no mint mark, Denver coins had the D, and San Francisco coins carried an S. Proof coins from San Francisco, with their mirror-like fields and frosted details, are especially sought after, particularly if they remain in pristine condition. Some proof errors, like missing layers or unusual toning, make these even more desirable. What makes all of this so exciting is the idea that these coins are still out there. You don't need to dig through ancient ruins or visit exotic markets to find them. They could be sitting in your change jar, tucked into an old collection, or even overlooked in a box of coins inherited from family. Every time you handle a 1974 quarter, you could be holding a piece of history and, if luck is on your side, a coin worth thousands. Coin collecting has always been about more than just money. It's about discovery, history, and the thrill of the hunt. The Washington quarter of 1974 represents all of that. It's an everyday object transformed into a symbol of rarity, beauty, and sometimes astonishing value. And now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. While most 1974 Washington quarters are worth only 25 cents, a rare example with a dramatic minting error, preserved in near-perfect condition, has been valued at an incredible $76,000. Yes, $76,000 for a single quarter. Imagine the story you'd have to tell if you found one of these treasures. So before you spend that old change, take a careful look. Your next coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 5, we're going to explore a fascinating piece of American history. The United States of America Washington quarter dollar from 1979. At first glance, it may seem like just another quarter from the pocket change of the late 70s. But as you'll soon learn, this particular year carries mysteries, minting errors, and hidden gems that can make it a real prize in the world of coin collecting. The Washington quarter had already been an American staple for nearly 5 decades by 1979. Originally introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday, it quickly became a permanent part of U.S. currency. John Flanagan portrait of Washington on the obverse side, had become a familiar sight in every wallet and cash register. By the late 70s, inflation and economic change made coins a vital part of daily life. But tucked into that routine were some rare and extraordinary examples that would later become treasures for collectors. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse of the 1979 quarter, you see Washington's classic left-facing profile. Above his head is the word Liberty, and beside his portrait sits the motto, "In God We Trust." Below his neck is the date 1979, marking the coin's year of issue. On the reverse, we find the powerful heraldic eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows of defense and an olive branch of peace. This design carried an enduring symbolism that collectors appreciate even today. But the beauty of the 1979 quarter isn't just in its design. It's in the rarity and the mistakes that slipped through the minting process. Most of these coins were struck in copper-nickel clad at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while proof coins were struck in San Francisco. The Philadelphia quarters carried no mint mark, Denver coins had a D, and San Francisco proofs bore an S. Each mint tells its own story, but it's the unusual errors that truly set certain coins apart. Errors from the 1979 Washington quarter can include double-die obverse examples, where the inscriptions like Liberty or the date show noticeable doubling. These double dies are among the most dramatic and sought-after errors in numismatics. Off-center strikes are another type, where the design is not properly centered, leaving part of the coin blank and creating an eye-catching rarity. Some quarters were also found struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they were accidentally minted on blanks intended for other denominations. Imagine finding a quarter struck on a dime or nickel planchet. That's the kind of discovery that can command jaw-dropping prices. Condition also plays a crucial role. Most 1979 quarters circulated heavily, showing plenty of wear from years of use. These worn coins are common and not particularly valuable. But an uncirculated 1979 quarter with bright luster and no signs of wear can be a collector's dream, especially when professionally graded. High-grade coins, particularly those with errors, are the ones that skyrocket in value. Proof coins from San Francisco also attract serious attention, especially if they remain sealed in their original sets. The thrill for collectors comes from knowing that while millions of these coins were produced, only a handful with unique errors or near-perfect preservation exist. That rarity transforms an everyday object into a collectible treasure. For someone sifting through pocket change or an inherited coin collection, spotting a rare 1979 quarter could feel like unearthing hidden treasure. This is what makes coin collecting such a fascinating hobby. The idea that something as ordinary as a Washington quarter could secretly be worth thousands. It combines history, artistry, and the thrill of discovery all in the palm of your hand. And now, the part you've been waiting for. While the average 1979 Washington quarter is worth just its face value, a rare specimen with dramatic errors and preserved in exceptional condition has been valued at an astounding $73,000. Yes, $73,000 for a single quarter. So the next time you come across a 1979 Washington quarter, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history and a fortune at the same time. If you enjoyed today's exploration, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos about the world's most fascinating and valuable coins. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next find be the treasure you've been searching for.